Hello, I'm Wallace Allen. This is Empire Talks Back, and today we're going to be talking to a man who's been contributing to business owners, business development in the Inland Empire for the last 30 years. You'll be back in a moment and get a chance to meet Mr. Dumas Martin.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation.
America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Hi, I am Wallace Allen. This is Empire Talks Back, and this, my friends, is Mr. Dumas Martin. Mr. Dumas Martin, the creator of the Idea Club, and has followed through with that in terms of helping people throughout the nation. Can't talk to you now, baby. People throughout the nation. I just wanted to show you how important that is. My wife calling me and all that stuff. You've helped people who are now spread throughout the nation with their business development, and it all emanated right here from the Inland Empire with the Idea Club. Tell us a little bit about the Idea Club and how you've moved that project on, and tell us a little bit about some of the people you've helped make successful.
First of all, thank you, Wallace, for having an opportunity to talk about the Idea Club here today. The Idea Club actually came about as a result of me starting out with an invention years ago and meeting some phenomenal people. And I knew it was important for me to introduce those people to some other people in the community. That's basically how it started.
It did start like that.
Yes.
Okay, and excuse me, guys. I guess this is my wife. She wants to keep talking to me. She's supposed to be here at the program. I don't understand why she's not. I am going to talk to her. Miss Josephine Allen, this is Wallace Allen. I am on TV now. And how can I help you? Oh, you're not here going to be able to get my grandchildren here. This is a big disappointment. But it's important that we share this with you because my grandchildren were going to be part of today's program with Mr. Dumas Martin. Thank you, Mrs. Allen. We will talk to you later. Bad news. But at the same time, it's good news. You'll have more time. I did want to introduce you to my entrepreneur inclined granddaughter, Miss Naima. So, you've got this program going, the Idea Club. You have people that you've helped develop their business. Talk a little bit about that part of it.
Well, I realized
because it's one thing to have ideas, it's something else to be able to follow through on them, and you've helped people follow through on and develop their ideas.
Right. Well, I was able to get my own ideas to market after working hard at it, and I realized there were basically five elements that an entrepreneur needed.
Okay.
And you got to be able to protect your intellectual property. So that was one of the things I did, was learn what I could about copyright, trademark, patent, setting up corporations. But
that's why the Idea Club, people, intellectual properties are ideas that become real properties because of making your business plan,
yes,
getting your business organization together,
yes,
and those are all things that you felt people do. Tell us what you, Dumas Martin, help a person do if they were to call you and say, help me with my business.
Well, first of all, I try to focus in on exactly what it is they want to accomplish. So I do what I call a consultation, a personal consultation. And I listen to what it is that they're really telling me, not just in their words, but from their heart. And based on that, I help them to move forward with their ideas. We have an example of one of those clients with us today. You'll be interviewing later, Mr. Carl Guillaume. And as I say, I've been able to touch thousands of lives and help them to get their corporation going.
When you first started doing this, the internet was not as prominent as it is now.
No, it wasn't.
And during your beginnings, when people needed to begin and start their business, start their the whole flow of business, getting their fictitious business name, getting their organization in terms of incorporation, things of that sort, you actually, in the old days, did that work for people.
Yes, I did.
Now that the modern world is here, you don't even acknowledge that work was work.
Well,
because I keep asking you, what do you do to help people? And I know you help people start their, to get their corporations. Yes. I know you help them get their LLCs. I know you've helped them get their fictitious business name. But I also know that in our pre-conversation before the program, you were telling me how easy it is to get these things done now because of the internet.
Yes.
And so the internet and the access to information has kind of taken away one of your income streams, because you used to get paid to do those things.
Actually, no. It's opened the doors even wider. Here's why. Because now I can help people anywhere in the United States.
Okay.
Because if a person, and I have clients in Tennessee.
See, this is the positive attitude that Mr. Dumas Martin not only has, but he somehow, through osmosis or whatever, gets to pass this on to his people that are his clients. The problem that I was trying to describe about the internet taking away his business, taking away some aspects of his business, he describes as an opportunity to reach more people.
Yes.
Give me that. That's what I'm talking
Exactly.
about. This is why we got Mr. Dumas Martin in here today. Dumas, you said that beginning with the Idea Club was a product that you created.
Yes.
And now, as we'll talk a little bit more about the benefits of the internet, now that the internet is here, you are distributing your product, that one and others, a little bit differently.
Yes. Well, we know the largest distributor of consumer.
Well, I know it and you know it, but maybe they don't.
No, I'm just saying we know is Amazon. For
Oh,
example.
okay. Now we've informed the public here,
And
that
I
in case they
found
didn't
out
know.
that my own son has developed a certain expertise at distributing those products.
Ah.
So what we're doing is teaming up and working together, and we're moving our own products first. But of course, once we polish and perfect this network, we'll be following through with other clients' products and
So-
helping to take them across the U.S. and potentially around the world.
So you are utilizing one of the basic rules of entrepreneurialism, that being that if you need the product or need the service, there's a great chance that others will also need that service.
Yes.
And by organizing yourself well as you do it, you actually, like you say, are opening the door to bring more people in through that same direction.
Well, one of the biggest problems, Wallace, that I found, just get down to the absolute problem when you say, what do I really do, is people don't have the confidence many times that they can go from A to Z. They don't really know that they can do it. Working with someone who has done it many times, it makes it more comfortable for them to do it, and I guide them through the entire process. 30 years of doing this have made it possible for me to see a 13 or 14-year-old to go to being 38 years of old now and doing some of the things I was doing when I was much younger. So we know that the concepts work. We just have to continue to help others to do it as successfully as we have.
How are you now exciting others to become entrepreneurs? I know that you have some literature there that where you've talked about helping people make some money while, so what's that literature about that you have on the table here?
Well, it's providing affordable tools. Sometimes you can have a great idea, and the first thing that hits most entrepreneurs' minds is, I'm going to need a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what I help them to understand is putting a successful package together doesn't require that they come up with a lot of money, but they have to come up with some money, but they have to come up with a good plan or strategy. The documentation I brought today is a way that they can set up corporations where the corporation provides shares of stock, where they can actually sell shares of stock at a reasonable rate to be able to raise the capital that they need.
And what kind of process do they need to go through in order to qualify for that type of structure?
It isn't a large amount of qualifications whatsoever.
Okay.
Basically, if you have the basic funds, you apply for the corporation with the state in which you live. And usually, if you have a relatively good background, the state will approve it. And then with our help, because you have to have some guidance.
What does that paper say and do that leads people in that direction?
Well, this is more.
What kind of offer is that?
This is leading them to me. It says, come to see me,
Okay.
and I will guide you through the steps that it takes. This wouldn't be something I would necessarily just.
Okay, well,
give to
we've
the
got a
client.
few minutes and we've come to see you. What do we need to do?
Okay, first of all, I want to find out what type of business you want to launch. Do you want a nonprofit or do you want a for-profit?
Because I'm not versed on what a nonprofit can do, and I've got this imagination about a profit. If I call it a profit, maybe it'll be a profit. So let's say a profit.
Okay, let's say the for-profit corporation.
Yes.
What type of product or service do you want to sell?
We sell information. We
you
sell
sell.
information. I sell information. I talk.
Excellent.
Okay.
What are you going to name your corporation?
Let's see. I'm going to name it Empire Talks Back.
Okay, Empire Talks Back. Did you want to call it Empire Talks Back Enterprises? You want to call it, we got to determine exactly how your corporation is going to be named. Because it has to be Inc., Corporation, or Corp.
Let's say Inc. That just
Excellent.
sounds powerful.
Excellent.
Okay.
Let's go online. It was one of the things I do and make sure that's available. Because someone else may have that name.
May have
already.
that name. So we're about now the process of reserving a name.
Right.
and-
We determine that the name is available, and then the next thing that we would do is basically fill out the application and put the basic fee with it and send it to the state.
and that
And then
would
the state will either determine whether it's already taken or they'll approve it. If they approve it, you're in business.
Okay. Now I'm in business.
You're
now
in
I
business.
really need to come and see you.
Well, you're in business. We're going to be working together from ground zero if
Okay.
you're working with me.
Very good.
So you're already in with me. So you come to me and say, I got my documents, Mr. Martin. So then the next thing, because we've already worked a little further in terms of what your business plan is, then now we determine what the next step is that you would need. If you have
So if I don't really know the questions to ask myself about setting the business up and why I'm doing it, you are in a position to kind of motivate me in terms of asking me the questions that are going to lead me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I know what you need. You even the way you were just asking me the questions was almost sort of like out of the blue. I wouldn't deal with a client that who's sort of like that. No, really, you.
That's important to know. That's important to know because it's obvious to you, me, and everybody
No, you gotta
looking
be
that
full-
I was kind of making it
Right,
up as
yeah,
I go
don't
along.
deal with that. No.
Okay.
Well, I push you
Now,
hard enough to where you're going to be
Some
focused.
people would take that simply because there is a possible fee
Everybody's
going
not a-
on with the consultation.
everybody's
So
not a
what would you tell me? I mean, very honestly, as
I want to know what your real dream is. You want
And
me to get
if you-
serious?
and if you
I want
find
to
that-
know what you really want to do with this time and this money. I want to know who the real you. We don't not talk about just setting up a corporation.
Okay.
What do you really want to do? What do you really want to accomplish? What do you really want me to help you with? Why should it be me?
I've got a young man that I'm going to interview in the next portion of this program.
Yes.
And you took him through all of that stuff?
Yes.
You made it that
He's
hard for him to figure?
phenomenal. Oh, I do it with all of my clients.
My goodness.
I don't have.
Tell
Lord,
people who we're going to
I
be.
don't have millions of clients. I have thousands because a lot of them don't want to deal with this. But I'm gonna tell you what: the majority of the ones I do work with are successful.
Tell us who we're going to be talking to in the next tab.
You're gonna be
section.
talking to Mr. Carl Guillaume.
Carl Guillaume.
Carl Guillaume is the founder of MBS, Elite Training Services, and MBS stands for Mind, Body, and Soul.
Mr. Martin, how can people get in touch with you and get access to your services? Give me your phone number.
Well, they can reach me at area code 909-620-4772, or they can go online to theideaclub.com.
All of that will be right here for you folks. Mr. Martin's voice being as great as it is, you might want him to set up an answering service for you for your telephone. Dumas, thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.
We'll be back in just a few minutes with
Thank you.
Mr. Guillaume.
Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you. We're back. I'm still Wallace Allen, but this is Mr. Carl Guillaume,
Thank you.
as promised by Mr. Dumas Martin. Carl with Mind, Body, and Soul Training.
Yes, sir.
And if he took his jacket off, you could see his muscles.
Yeah.
He's a muscle guy. And tell me, why are you in the training business? What got you involved in that? And do you really take people up to big mountains and force them? But they tell me you guys are workout warriors, and that sometimes it may get a little rough, a little lonely. I'm kind of scaring an old guy like me in terms of
Yeah.
trying to get into your services here.
Yeah.
Convince me that you could deal with an old guy like me and not lead me up on the top of the mountain because I didn't do everything right.
Okay. Well, I'm going to scare you and probably veer you away, but I'm going to bring you right back.
Okay.
Because if you go on top of that mountain, I may leave you there.
Yes.
You're going to find a way to get back down.
That's what Mr. Martin suggested. He said that you really better know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So who are you training? What is your real training regime? And
Okay.
tell us about mind, body, and soul.
Okay, well.
And some of these people out here might really be afraid, so you want to talk to them like someone who may want their business.
Right. Well, getting back to your initial question, I got into training because I at one point I used to play sports, run track and play football. And what happened is there's like a 7-year gap where I did absolutely nothing, and there's no coach there to push me.
Mm-hmm.
So if I had 10 push-ups, I would do 8. And eventually, as the years went on, I did 4. And I went from 160 from running track all the way up to 220 pounds. I'm only 5'5".
Okay, so you went from bowling to becoming a bowling ball.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Actually, I was an 8. So
Don't laugh, because this is a common story. We all, if we live and are not getting paid by the NFL or the Major League Baseball or basketball, chances are we're not on a strong training regime at all.
Absolutely.
So what brought you to the point of deciding that you wanted to get back to bowling and not be the bowling ball?
Yeah, well, I got on the track. I was at Chaffey College, and while I was running around, I couldn't run 50 meters because my knees were hurting so bad.
My goodness, okay.
Yeah. So when I got back home, I ain't even gonna lie, I just started crying. Because there's 2 people you can look at. Well, there's only one person. When you look at that person in the mirror, the truth comes out.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I gotta do something because I can't see myself living the rest of my life like this.
So you had swollen up from 160 pounds to
220 pounds. And that's like at 5'5", that wasn't muscle. That was a big belly, and I couldn't run on a track.
Okay. And that did definitely have effect on your knees.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And that evening when I got back home, it's funny how when you put something out into the universe, it comes right back. That evening, I fell asleep. I had tried everything up until this point, diet pills, one in which made my heart skip a beat.
All of this super stuff that would work without you having to work.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So
I wanted the quick
magic,
fix.
The magic potion.
Didn't work. None of it worked for me. So
Remember
I'm like,
that.
Yeah, nothing worked for me. So there was an infomercial that came on that night. And the infomercial, they was talking about eating organic, juicing. If you eat meats, eat organic meats, grass-fed meats, and the list went on and on and on. Something that I've never heard before, but it piqued my attention. I said, man, I have nothing to lose. And yes, I bought the book. I'm an infomercial king.
Okay.
However,
That you apparently used it.
yes.
Okay.
And this book changed my life.
Now, what was the book about? Was it more about food and nutrition, or what was it about?
It was about food, nutrition, and just the whole gamut, juicing and cleansing your body and eating from the earth versus eating more processed foods. I went from eating chips and cookies and malt shakes and burgers and fries every day.
Making me hungry.
Come on now. To eating more veggies. If I was going to pick up a chip, I end up picking up a grape and eating an apple.
Okay.
And I promise you, within 3 months, I got down to my initial goal weight, which was 175.
You lost in 3 months from 220
to 175.
to 175 did you cold turkey on the meat?
Well, I was eating meat
You
at
did,
that
so
point.
you were
Yes.
still eating meat.
Yes.
And increase your vegetable intake.
Yes.
Now, how much exercise were you doing?
You know what's funny is my exercise went actually down.
Well, how could it go down from not running 50 yards?
Well,
I don't mean to laugh at you, but how much worse could it get?
No, well, actually, I was working out at that time. I was
Okay.
still lifting weights. I would go to the gym, ride the bike, so
Okay.
on and so forth. But when I actually got into running on the track, that's when I had an issue at 220 pounds because of my knees. But from that, I didn't work out as much. My bowel movement, because I was eating a lot of processed foods, I may have had a bowel like every 2 to 3 days.
So your friends were accurate when they said you were full of it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. My mama and my daddy and everybody too. So with doing this new thing with eating more from the earth, I find myself using the restroom a lot more, having more bowels 2 to 3 times a day. And I got down to 175 and I said, man, this was fast. It was like something clicked upstairs. And have you ever had that to where you felt like everything was tight, like a dam, right? And the dam broke and all ideas started flooding.
Okay.
I said, why not try this? Why not try that? And blah, blah, blah. I said, you know what? Let me get down to the 160. Within a month and a half, I promise you, I'm not lying, I went down to 160 pounds.
Which was your good old
Which
high
was
school weight?
Absolute, well, college weight.
College weight.
You know, so I said, you know what? I'm on to something. If I can do this by myself, I need to help others. Because I was speaking to a young lady in the green room, and I told her, I said, if you're unable to live your fullest, right, then how can I be a blessing onto you? I can't. If I'm 220 pounds and I'm conscious of everything that I do and I'm hiding myself, then I can't be a blessing onto others. So I said,
Not as much of a blessing.
Not as
certainly.
much, absolutely. So I knew I was onto something. And I ended up getting my certifications, and I was helping change people. I started off at a big box gym, and I started changing people's lives.
And you could see it.
Absolutely. I had one guy, he went from 305 pounds at 5'8" down to 170 pounds. And we did that in 11 months.
And his quality of life obviously has changed.
Oh, absolutely.
How much exercise goes along with this, and how much of it is eating correctly? And when I say correctly, that's without you going through all of the study that may tell you about too much of a steroid or too much of an antibiotic in foods. But eating what's available, organic is probably a lot cleaner in the sense that you're not getting food that has the antibiotics and the false
Pesticides,
fertilizers and things of that
yes.
sort, which many of us are. I don't know, it's kind of like a dirty car. I've seen some cars that were so dirty that when you washed them, they fell apart. So we don't want to encourage people to get too clean too fast,
Sure.
you know. But in terms of paying attention to what you eat, how important is that in the quality of life that you're able to see people move to as a result of losing the weight and maintaining this new attitude that comes along with this new body? I mean, how new is the mind that goes along with the new body, and what happens to the soul, being that that's the name of your business?
Right. Well, I'm happy you mentioned that.
Mind, body, and
Mind,
soul.
body, and soul.
Yes.
We transform all of it. I say it's 90-10.
The food is that important,
Yes.
because that is the fuel.
Yes. Because what happens is what I always tell people. The weekend is coming. When you're around friends and family, everything starts to change. So you have to exercise that discipline, because like they say, the more disciplined your life is, the easier it will be. But if you choose the easier route, the more hard your life is going to be. So with our clients, we work that mind, body, and soul. The body, that's easy. Because after a while, when you get that habit of coming in and training with us 30 to 45 minutes, hard work, you're going to say, okay, I know. If you don't do it, it's like you're missing something. But for the rest of the day, you have 23 hours left. What are you going to do? So that's when we have to start filling your gaps with positivity.
Okay. So I'm not running to the refrigerator, eating 4 or 5 times a day. What do I do with this time I'm saving? And what do I do with this energy, this newfound energy that I have?
Absolutely. And I'm happy that you mentioned that, because when you start taking all that processed stuff out, right, and you start flooding your body with what God made from the earth, you go from that. I talk to a lot of people, they say, man, I ate this burger, man, and I'm sleepy, to I ate these veggies, or I ate this brown rice, or I ate this, and my energy is up.
So finishing your meal of a good salad and some fruits and maybe a little meat protein, whatever, feeling energized as opposed to sleepy is a good indicator as to whether you ate something that's good for you or whether you just ate something.
Absolutely. Because one of the things, well, what we have our clients do is we have a checklist, right? If you eat something, how did it make you feel? Positive or negative?
So you keep a list of what you ate.
Yes.
So there is a little bit of intellectual involvement here.
Absolutely.
Let's not forget to let people know how to become one of your clients.
Okay.
How do they reach you?
You guys can reach me at 909-731-1698. We transform people's mind, body, and soul out of the city of Rancho Cucamonga. You can go to our website at mbselitetraining.com, and we're ready to help you guys transform your lives.
Now, we've only got a short time left in that. I've done
Okay.
this on purpose because I don't want to, but our friend, our mutual friend,
Sure.
Mr. Dumas Martin, had brought you in.
Okay.
Mr. Dumas Martin is working on his physique. And are you working with him on that?
I'm not working with them right now.
Okay, I suggest you work with him on that because this is going to be, I'm going to bring him back on.
Okay.
And I'm going to bring him back on under the auspices that as
Okay.
he helped you start your business,
Sure.
you're going to help him, you're going to help us in save his life, help us keep Mr. Dumas Martin as wonderful to himself as he is to everyone else. And we're going to, you going to accept that assignment?
I got you, sir.
You got it. Okay, we're going to bring Mr. Dumas Martin back at some point, and we are going to intercede on our friend and assume that taking some of that weight off is going to make him healthier. But we are going to also assume that he's going to cooperate. We'll let you know if he did that. Carl, thank you so much
Appreciate
for
it.
what you're doing.
Yes, thank you.
And continue. And indeed, I'm concerned that my generation has eaten the apple, the false apple, a little too often, and that we do need your help and support. So I know we've got it. Folks, you're going to need his help. Use that phone number, give him a call, or simply use that information he gave you about being disciplined. Leave the meat alone, eat a lot more vegetables, and you'll move in that direction. And if you want some more expertise on it, according to Mr. Dumas, you could get that on the internet, or you could call our friend Carl,
Yes.
okay, at Mind, Body, and Soul. Thank you
sir.
again, my
Thank
friend.
you so much.
Take care.
Appreciate you.
God bless you.
All right.
See you guys next time, and don't eat so much meat between now and then.
Come on now.
Talk to you later. Bye.